There's actually someone running the account now saying, I'm keeping this running because the PR stuffed it up so badly. Like, that's basically, I can't remember, I'm misquoting the bio, but they've actually used her name on Twitter, and in the bio it says, we're keeping this alive because she stuffed it up so badly. Because she hasn't gone back onto Twitter, obviously, or if she has, she's doing it under an alias.
Okay. She received death threats in the end.
Yeah, it went on for a long time. It wasn't just the 11-hour flights, it carried on for weeks afterwards. Justine got fired in the process. She got let go from her company because what do you do as a company? There's such a huge outcry. And unfortunately, with social media comes something called mob justice, which we'll also get into.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Cecil the Lion. It's all of that stuff.
Did you do the presentation?
I'm paying attention. I'm right here with you.
We are going to go through Walter Palmer's case as well because it's mob justice. Okay. And then someone did. They went to Cape Town International Airport to go and find her.
Oh God.
That was when she landed.
Now everybody knows what she's wearing.
Her first text message that she got was from a school friend she hadn't spoken to since high school. She at the time she was 30, I think it was 30 at the time. So she's my age, which is even more scary because I'm like, geez, if my world got turned upside down, because her career suicide. Okay, career suicide. Her first tweet was from a friend saying, I'm so sorry that this is happening. She was like, huh? The next call was, phone me urgently, I need to talk to you, from her best friend. And after that, her messages and emails just went mad with people going, can't believe this is happening, we've just seen it, blah, 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 blah.
Yo, can you imagine being like so oblivious to what's going on?
You want to talk about those Google, you know how you talking about Googling yourself? This was, I think it was
20
June.
The new piece.
Justine Sacco, apparently when she, before this happened, was Googled on average 40 times a month. When this all happened by June, the numbers were, in fact it was before June, numbers were up to 1.2 million times.
Just people Googling her name.
What
That's interesting stats. Excuse me?
When did this happen?
2013.
I'm never tweeting it. Well, I don't tweet, but putting anything.
No, but you should. You should tweet because you need to understand what it's about.
No, I'm saying before I go on a plane, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
I feel for this girl, like I really do. I can't imagine that feeling when you land, because the first thing we do is we shut on our phones, right? Because we've been disconnected for 11 hours and we want to tweet. We've landed in South Africa and the messages start and you have no idea why. Because you don't know what you've done. And then you think, oh shit, something's happened to my family, something's happened to someone I love. And then the next thing you're like, oh look, I'm trending on Twitter. That's amazing. So yeah, some people did actually go, this guy that took the photo did a couple of tweets. You can see by her face, I mean in this photo, it's a very low-res photo, but she's devastated. She put her glasses on inside Cape Town International, she's trying to hide. She was hoping no one knew what flight she was on.
They actually figured out what flight she was on,
Yeah,
posted it on Twitter, and it became like a trending thing as well. Flight number.
Yeah. Again, mob justice.
It was online shaving to its max. It was sad.
So, yeah, I don't know if Justine will ever... She now actually... I think the thing that made this so interesting is that she was the one person who used to get involved in the shaming of other people who did this kind of stuff. If you go read the articles, it's very interesting if you want to go Google her. There was an interview with her where they spoke about that she used to get involved in like the shaming and like, how dare you say that and how can you, because she was so passionate about it. She's like I said, her family came from fighting racism, and unfortunately,
with no context.
It was yeah. Is it
What is she doing now?
I have no idea.
She changed jobs a few times the last time I read. She was working for a PR for a company, and then that company went under.
She'll never work for a big PR company again.
Yeah. There's
Although,
no social media presence.
if she was a really good PR person, she would turn this around and say, "I've learned the hard way." But that being said, how many brands would want to work with you after that's happened?
Well, that's what you were saying in terms of the apology and all of that sort of thing. Nobody remembers the apology. Everybody just remembers.
The interview I read with her was, I think it was so difficult for her that she considered suicide.
Yeah.
She went into serious depression for
I
months.
can imagine.
And she couldn't quite figure out how to turn it around because if she went out in public, she had death threats and people were saying things like, they were saying on things like on Twitter, "This bitch, somebody raped this bitch."
Oh wow.
And they found out where she lived. People,
Oh my god.
the threats she received, she couldn't step out of the house. She was housebound for months. How do you turn that around?
Like even if just somebody says something bad about me, I'm like,
There's
like a friend or
Yeah.
there's only 2 tweets on her account. The one says that one, and then on the same day it says hashtag happy Anthony, and the tweet is yes, and I have full-blown AIDS. Happy question mark.
Yeah. No, it was hectic.
It's bad.
she responded like that.
No. Someone's
No,
taken
no,
over her
it's taken
account.
over it.
Oh.
Jeez.
I think what happened from this is on that, if you Google it, there's a link to other interviews that they actually did with other people that were in the same situation. I know there was a pregnant mom, who, as a joke, posed with a cigarette and a bottle of liquor. She was the most healthy mom you could find, but they were mucking around because all the girls were having a girls' night and she was obviously a designated driver. Photo got out onto social media. It was circulated to her office and she got fired subsequently as well. Okay. Another tweet that I can tell you about, or post from personal experience that we've had, was, I'm also not going to mention the brand, we got a message on our Facebook page saying, "How can you employ racist people, blah blah blah," screenshots of a guy making comments. We didn't have the link to the thread, so we couldn't actually investigate what had started the debate. But it was all about ignorant white people, blah, 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 blah. It was a black gentleman, which is so unfortunate because we would really like to change the racism stigma. And we had to send it on to the PR team. He'd been a contractor with the company since 2011. So he'd been there for years and he got fired. Okay, silly. If there's a debate going on and there's a fight,
Stay out of it.
stay out of it. How many of you have been on fights on social media? Arguments, debates?
I watch them, I don't participate.
Yes? No? Facebook, Twitter?
Yeah, briefly, but it wasn't.
What was it about?
It was in my state. They have like a Facebook group, but there's like a lot of politics in the state because there's this group of like drug addicts or whatever. We're trying to get them out because like my parents have younger friends with younger children, so like it's. And then I just commented because there was this guy who was obviously letting them in, but I don't know, he was letting the guys in. I'm like, no, they don't live here. That's all I said. And then he started going at me, and I was like, I haven't said anything. I'm just saying I know these guys, and I know they don't live here. That's it. And then there was another situation where also I was coming around the circle. And I was taking my domestic worker to the gate because I didn't want her to walk. And there was a guy who was just taking a while to go around the circle, so I just went first. Really wasn't a big deal. I wasn't speeding. Like, there's bunnies in my state, and I would never hurt a bunny. So, and I went, and this guy was hooting, and he parked behind my car because I just parked in the parking lot. And then he got out. He wouldn't get out of his car because we found out actually later he couldn't walk. But he was like, he would not let me reverse. He was like, and he made me get out the car and started screaming and shouting at me. So I was like, fine. Okay, I just went home. I was like, and I left it. I didn't think it was going to be a big deal. I just kind of rushed off. And then next minute I go on Facebook and he's got my address up on the Facebook group, which is not just it's not just Cedar Lakes residents. It's got 700 people in the state. He had trashed me completely. He's had my number plates on, and I really wasn't speeding. It's like this idiot was speeding, and I'm like, I wasn't doing anything. And I went and commented. I said, you don't know me. You can't come and say these things. And the fact that you put my address on, and like everybody knows me in the estate, and then like they know that I'm not a bad person, or if I'm whatever this guy made me. He just completely. He said I nearly killed his daughter from whatever, and then my parents hadn't heard about it, but everybody else in the state did, so they came to like check up on me. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm okay. And then it turns out that they were actually like saying, oh no, she needs to do community service. I really didn't do anything. And then, no, you need to go work at like the dog.
Just you didn't have cameras up.
Yeah, no, we took the camera.
So what you could have done was get the camera footage, report it to security, and actually just responded with, "This has been reported to security.
Yeah, that's
they've got the evidence." Like
that's exactly what we did. And I left the group. I was like, okay, I've had my fun. But my dad was furious. Everybody was like, they're like, how could you put a 21-year-old female's address up on social with all this and with my with my registration. Like, yes, okay, we don't know what's going to happen, it might not, but it could. There's not innocent people in my states.
No, that guy wasn't thinking. It's actually very sad that has to happen. Anyone else?
I think people just don't realise how big social media is. When they do that kind of thing, he probably doesn't think that's going to go like across the whole world.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly that. I had an incident in 2011. There was a guy that created an account called Slut Spotter, running off Pig Spotter, and he'd actually gotten begruntled ex-boyfriends to send him all the photos, the nudie photos, and he would tag the girls and lambaste them. And I'd actually had a fallout with a guy, and I told him that because he was just like seeing like 4 or 5 girls at the same time, sending them the same type of messages, and he didn't realize that the girls on social media also, we used to get together, so we used to talk. And I joked and said, well, I'm going to do a blog about all these confessions from these girls. And he proceeded to then go and tell a whole bunch of people that I was running the Slut Spotter account. During this time, I was on Rock the Boat. I was not on my phone. And also, I came back to hate speech. Like, no, and I was like, I don't even know what you guys are talking about. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But it went on for weeks. And I actually got inbox messages from big people on social media saying, you can take these guys to the police station for defamation of character. And I was like, I don't actually care. I don't care. These people are retards. Like, they've got no proof. They got on one guy, and I actually took the screenshots and said, one guy is sending this to everyone. I mean, surely you think a little bit further. Needless to say, his career in social media is now down the toilet, not mine. Because I just refuse to get involved in it. But it's difficult. Like, you get so enraged that you want to
express your rage.
You want to and it was hard for me because all I could say to the people were like, you don't know me. Like, how can you say these things? Because it was like, bitch must burn, and I was like, oops.
Well, bitch, you want to rock the boat.
Exactly, man. I was partying. Came back to a shitstorm. It's amazing.
I always have pride when I look at these things, because also when I first started social media, I had no clue the effect of what was going on. I don't think anybody did. And now, when I see that kind of stuff going on, I have a mantra in my head: don't feed the trolls.
Yeah, but that's it. We had another interesting situation on one of our brands, and I won't again mention the brand. The guy came onto the Facebook page, complained, we got his details, said we'd send it over to customer care because we have different customer care divisions that deal with the complaints. And it escalated, and I've got a new team member, which I hired about a month and a half ago, and this guy refused to send a message via the inbox. It was on the wall, and she, without changing, verbatim took the response from customer care explaining the situation about his bad credits and posted it on the thread.
On the wall,
on his thread. Needless to say, we had not realized that there was a legal fight going on in the background with this guy, and he was just looking for ammunition. But it would have helped if the legal team had informed us before we engaged. But yeah, so that was fun. It happened.
You need to be in communication with, have an idea of what's going on.
You say that, but I mean, some of the companies we work with are so huge that we forget to communicate. We're in the world of communication, but we forget to communicate. You'll see even here. Okay, something will happen, and you'll be like, oh crap, how did we not have a conversation?
You just don't think something's important.
Exactly that. So now let's look at the positive of personal brand. Okay, now we've done the negative. and the danger of personal brand and why now you understand your personal brand is your.
There's someone like who takes a dig at this office often, and his personal brand is literally shredding everyone.
We went and looked
all
on
the
his
time.
social media. It is. He literally lambasts all the. It's someone who vents.
He does.
It's always fascinating for me because when someone comes and complains and they complain in a very aggressive manner, I always go look at their personal brand, and it is. They're negative. They complain all the time. They never have any positive things to say. It's very interesting, and I almost feel like there was a you are what you speak kind of thing. If you do that in your daily life, you think about that in social media as well. Like you are what you speak, whether it's verbally or on social
But
media.
this person gets like street cred for it. He's got a massive following in South Africa.
Because people love drama. And it's unfortunate.
You know, people like controversial.
And they're sheep.
Yeah, that as well. Okay, should we just wait 2 seconds? We're such a small team. I thought we were going to have more. Does anyone want some chocolate? Shay, would you like a chocolate? I usually like throw these at students for their great questions and answers. They're such a small group. Sending you one via the interwebs. You got it. I will talk about it wrong. It's not fair.
It would be on social media, but
Why not?
that's what I'm going to say now.
Got a whole bunch of new coffee pods. You just try them. They're not the
That's what the red ones. What are they?
Those are beauty ones.
Yeah, I just
There are cafe luxe ones and they're vanilla cafe luxe.
Where do you buy them?
I got them online.
Does this work in here?
Amazingly.
I'll try one now.
Of course, the accounts of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, you get people
all
out
out
there.
there. You know, all our tweets. So it says we're really great tweets.
Oh, they just like got the red, but I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm still I think you need to use the froth here. The
Yeah.
frother.
Do you guys want to take a quick break? Should we take a quick 15-minute break, okay? Shay, you've got 15 minutes to go to the girl. So.
Thank you.
It's not great.
Oh, that's not cool, eh?
Do it.
That's why her story interested me so much.
It's a very sad story, though. Like, dude, my heart bleeds for it, eh?
I know it sounds funny, but you don't know what she looks like. So why can't you just change her name?
No, we do. Her photos are all over the interwebs.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure if she has an Instagram,
She's dying now and everything.
She's trying. I mean, her Facebook, people went into her Facebook account, pulled photos of her Facebook, and it's
It's all about her family and
yeah.
everything.
Not just her father actually refused to comment and have his name, felt like he didn't want to be involved.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's very, very sad.
what is this one?
I think I'm gonna have a muffin soon. I shouldn't, but I will.
Oh, that's so sad.
That is currently a,
Like,
I suppose
know
it's
how
going to be an ongoing thing. There's an argument between AKA, I think.
Oh yeah,
Casper.
that's so fun.
Really? It just never ends.
Okay,
Like
so
the
you know
whole
who
world
Casper
is
Lee is. It's
against
amazing.
us.
Casper's the next on personal brand. Oh, you guys did this presentation for me, eh?
But I mean, I know how I felt when that little thing happened in my space.
That's terrible.
I got over it the next day.
You feel violated.
It could have gotten to my dad actually went to his house. My dad was furious at what he was saying about me. And everybody like that knows me went and backed me up and stuff.
You could have taken that to the police for her.
Definitely.
You could have, because he's actually giving your personal details out and he's putting your life in danger.
No, we did want to, but my dad just went to him and said, please just be careful what you said. The mother came and shouted at my dad, said, your daughter. Come on, you know me, I'm not gonna run. And it was, his car was double the size of mine. And the most I could have done was like scratch his door if I was going as fast as he says I was.
Is there a glass in here? I just need
To the right.
to the water. H2O. Yo, look guys, I don't know, it's stuff like this makes me wonder if the world is going going to a darker place day by day.
Yeah.
And it's like we remove ourselves from social media and what happens?
But I think, like, it's one of those weird things. It's the same as why the media report more negative stuff than positive.
Oh yeah.
Because people feed on that. It's so the good people and the good stuff are not
It's
as present.
sensational, that's why.
Like if people just say, oh, what a beautiful sunny day, like every day, then you're like,